Ace Hardware in Everett and Lake Stevens will help you find what you're looking for and offer friendly advice too. Owners Greg and Christine are all about serving their customers and their community. They support local high school sports and many other community organizations and events. So the next time you need help with your to-do list or project around the house, bring it to Ace. They'll greet you at the door and help you find whatever you need fast. Show your support for locally owned businesses. Shop Ace Hardware just off Highway 9 in Lake Stevens and Evergreen Way in Everett. Ace is the place for the helpful hardware folks.
Happy Saturday afternoon from the Walt Price Student Fitness Center on the campus of Everett Community College, the site of the final day of the District 1 3A girls and boys basketball tournaments. Coming up next, the first of 4 basketball games that we will be broadcasting live here at Everett CC today. The next game is just a few minutes away, and with that being said, it's one of the girls' games, and a game in which one team is looking to advance into next week's state regional round, while the other team will have their season end on this court here today. 2 teams that have state championship histories, the Shorecrest Scots and the Meadowdale Mavericks, both would love nothing more than to continue their season into the round of 16 and get one step closer to having a chance to play in the Tacoma Dome in less than 2 weeks. However, there's only room for one to advance. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Steve Willits. Joining me today, the Meadowdale Mavericks boys basketball coach, Roger O'Neill. And Roger, you've coached in big games. You played at the high school level. You played at the college level. When you've got your back up against a wall, especially in a game like this, one of these teams is going to be sent home today. What kind of pressure is that for a high school student?
Oh, it's a ton of pressure, but Steve, this is as good as it gets here. I mean, this is why you play if you're an athlete. This is why you coach if you're a coach. The games where there's so much on the line here, winner to state, loser out, it really doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, and these teams have been waiting to play these games for a while. Keep in mind we are dealing with one of our snowiest months in the history of Seattle, really, quite frankly. Snowiest weather we've had in over a half century. These teams having practices taken away from them, having games postponed, games canceled. And you went through a little bit of this last week. Your team was eliminated last Thursday, so you missed the second round of the Snows, but even knowing that you're trying to get ready for playoff action and you're doing so on limited practices, that's got to be kind of tough too.
Oh, it's extremely frustrating, I think, probably for both of the coaches out there tonight, and I know it was for me as well, but, everyone's in the same boat, and so, it's not like Shorecrest didn't have to deal with the snow and Meadowdale did, so both these teams have had to go through that same dynamic. So it's once the ball gets tossed in the air here today, it's 32 minutes to decide who gets to go on. 2
teams with storied histories at the state level. Shorecrest winning the state championship as a 2A school just 3 years ago in 2016. Certainly they have their share of experience. Some of these girls who are seniors on this team, as far as Audrey Dietz and a few others, playoff experience at that level. They were on that team as freshmen. And now here they are trying to get back. And then you've got a Meadowdale Maverick team that's trying to get somewhere they haven't been in a while, right? You know a thing or two about this. Your sister's playing on state championship winning teams, and you've basically grown up around this Meadowdale Maverick program.
Yeah, this is such a storied program, and what Coach Mahler's been able to do with this team this year has been exciting to get them back to this spot where they have a chance to go to state for the first time since 2009, when in 2009 it was 14 years in a row at that point they had gone to state. So it would be nice for the world order to get back where it should be in the Lady Mavs in the round of 16.
Well, and I know again you've lived through it, having 2 of your sisters play on those teams and watched them go through the successes and seen them playing in the Tacoma Dome. For this group of ladies here, though, obviously many of them were 6, 7, 8 years old when that last team made it that far. Do they know about the history? Do folks like yourself around campus, do you kind of keep them in tune with what this would mean for the history of this program?
Well, I mean, they have the record board in the hallway, and I'm sure they're aware of it on some level. But that's cool stuff for you and I to talk about. But when it comes down to it, each season is its own story and its own journey. And so I think just for this group of girls here in the Lady Mavs, it would just be really special for them to be able to get to the state tournament and experience that.
And we'll read the starting lineups when we get closer to tip-off here. But when you start to look at these rosters, really for both teams, the one thing that jumps out at you, the key contributors, the majority of the key contributors, underclassmen. These are 2 teams that are built for next year as well. Starting with Shorecrest, you've got four freshmen suiting up on the squad, only 3 seniors on the team, and this is a team that went 18-3 this year.
Absolutely. So yeah, same thing as I look through these rosters, and as you see with Shorecrest, their leading scorer Amanda Lee is a junior. They do get a lot of contributions from the seniors they have, but you're absolutely right. They're built to come back strong next year, regardless of what happens tonight.
Yeah, Lee and Sydney Van Ness, their 2 leading scorers, both juniors, and then the Meadowdale Mavericks. Good news, bad news. Your bad news is that you have 5 seniors suiting up. The good news is that most of your scoring contributions have been from your juniors and your sophomores.
Yeah, this has been a really fun and exciting team to follow. Obviously, we play on the same night sometimes. I don't always get to see them, but whenever I've watched them, I just love the pace they play with and the energy. And it's that cool combination of senior leadership and people that have some varsity experience, along with some sophomores and juniors that are really talented at basketball. So I think they've really gelled well, especially the second half of this year. And, they played the Shorecrest team not too long ago and fell to them. But with how they've been playing here the last couple of weeks, I would not be surprised to see this be a war all the way to the end.
Yeah, 57-38 was that score just a couple of weeks ago. And we start to look down the Meadowdale schedule this year. They're 14-8, but they started off the season 2-4.
Right.
So really, you do the quick math, they're 12-4 since that time. And you've gone through this with your own teams. When you have a young squad, you tend to see more progression than you maybe do if you, say, had all seniors on your team, right? Is that kind of expected?
Absolutely. And as you look at that schedule, too, it's not – they were playing a real rough schedule to start the year. They got Issaquah is a really good 4A team, and then Snohomish and Arlington are 3 of those first 4 losses. So what great experience for them to get thrown into the fire right away and find out who they are, and then rolling into league play. They really got things going.
Meadowdale wearing the dark blue road jerseys. Let's get you the starting lineups really quick. Number 3, Alicia Morrison is a 5'7" junior. You've got number 23, Lily Williams. She's a 5'11" junior who loves to shoot outside. Number 30, Cameron Cassidy is a 5'9" senior. Number 32, Soraya Swinton is a 5'5" junior. And number 45, the youngster, Fatu Jete, 6-foot sophomore. We'll get to Shorecrest here in just a moment as they start to swing the ball around. Layla Hosen, number 2. She's their starting point guard, a 5'5" freshman, folks. You heard that correctly. Amanda Lee with the ball a moment ago. They're the leading scorer. She puts up her first shot of the night. Misses it. Rebound for Swinton. Amanda Lee, a 5'10" junior guard. We'll get to the rest of the lineup here in just a moment as Lily Williams' shot is missed. Shorecrest grabbing the rebound. Number 23, Sydney Van Ness is a 5'8" junior. Number 14, Audrey Dietz, 6'1" senior. And rounding out the lineup, number 22, Amanda Kagarabi, 5'7" senior. Lee, left side, being guarded by Morrison. Hassan swinging it over to the other side of the floor. Kagarabi looking to pass down low, batted away by Jete. Here come the Mavericks looking for their first points of the night. 1 minute and 1 second into the game, and Rogers, so far we're scoreless.
Yeah, really good defensive possession by Meadowdale there that last time. They're sitting in the 2-3 zone, but they're really aggressive in it. They don't just sit back in it like I just said. They're aggressive, and they make sure that they put pressure on the offensive team.
And Fatu Jete dragging that plant foot there, travel called. So we are 1 minute and 14 seconds in. Still looking for our first points of the evening. Or I guess late afternoon, we should say. We're used to these night games. Amanda Lee with the basketball, 14.1 points per game. Been in the starting lineup since her freshman year. Kagarabi swings it around. Van Ness back up on top to Hassan. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Baseline, Lee looking to kick it into the lane. Riaz Kanji.
That's where that zone gets real effective, as I was just mentioning. They're able to get pressure on the perimeter, but then you still have Fatu sitting there in the paint for built-in help. It makes it real tricky when you try to penetrate through it.
Yeah, traveling right in front of the referee, Riaz Kanji making the easy call there. Meadowdale breaking the press. Swinging the ball around Morrison. Looking for help, finally getting it over to Jete. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Ball goes out of bounds, and we are still scoreless. Neither team choosing to make a substitution yet. Not a lot going on that scoreboard right now. We don't even have a foul yet in the game as we Still a wait to see if we can get some points here. Hosen swings it over into the corner. Dietz, long two, count it. Audrey Dietz with the first bucket of the night. 2-0 Shorecrest out in the early lead. Meadowdale breaking the press, getting it onto the other side of the floor. Swinton up on top. Finds a wide open Cameron Cassidy. She drains the bucket. We are now tied 2-2. 5:16 to go here in the first quarter.
Sometimes it just takes a couple minutes in games like this for teams to settle in, and just realize it's still just a basketball game and learn how, go about playing how they have all year. I expect the scoring to continue here as we go and they get more offensive flow.
And that brings up a good point there, too, as Lee floats one up, misses it. Hosen with the rebound, misses the open look. Dietz with the rebound, kicks it out to Lee. A long two on the way. Rims in and out. Kagarabi with the offensive board. She goes up strong. It gets fouled by Swinton, and Amanda Kagarabi will head to the line. And that's an interesting point. You're talking about a neutral site at this point, when we haven't seen those yet this year, in a gym that 3A hasn't used in the past. I would imagine for most of these girls, unless maybe some sort of AAU ball, they've probably never played here before.
That's absolutely right. And the good news is this is an awesome facility, really good shooter's backdrop, and the rims are friendly. So once they figure out it's still just the same size court they've always played on, this is a great setting for a Wyndham State loser-out game.
Kagarabi missing one of the two shots. Pass intended for Cameron Cassidy. Sails over her head out of bounds. Every once in a while, Meadowdale's going to want to mess with us, too. They've got a Cameron Cassidy and a Cassidy Gamble on the roster. And for the last 2 years now, I've, in my mind, mixed those two up numerous times, as we're going to get our first substitution into the game here in a moment, as shot might have even been partially blocked. They're going to say no air ball as Taylor Kesselring checks into the game, the 5'6" senior for Meadowdale. Yeah, that was kind of an interesting play there. Kagarabi was thinking she got fouled. She was complaining about that. Not only did she not get the foul, they said nobody even touched the ball. We're going to call that out on you.
Yeah, a lot of times officials will make a compromise on those where they don't think there's enough contact for a foul, but they'll just give it to the offensive team out of bounds anyhow.
She got neither.
That's right. The veteran officiating crew, though, here. These are three faces I think local basketball fans would recognize and trust to do a game like this.
No, absolutely, and especially in this day and age with shortages, you never know what you're going to get. We've got some good ones here tonight. Lee's shot off the mark. Here comes Meadowdale on the other end. Kesselring's pass knocked away and finally intercepted by Kagarabi. 3-2 score. We're more than halfway through the first quarter. Winner moving on to the regional state next week. Kagarabi shot up, bounces around, finally drops off. Morrison coming down with a rebound, spots Williams down the floor. Almost an uncontested layup. Nice job by Kagarabi to put a little pressure on her, forcing her to miss. Here come the Scots on the other end. Lee, right wing, down low. Nice job by Meadowdale to crash down on the pass intended for Dietz. And Keisha Stark, the 5'8" sophomore, checking in. Keisha's had herself a nice year as well.
She has, averaging almost 7 points a game here in her first full season of varsity basketball, and so that's instant offense coming in off the bench. I like that substitution in a game here where points have been hard to come by so far.
And Stark has had a few huge games this year. Speaking of points being hard to come by, Sydney Van Ness says, let's make it a little bit easier. She pops in a 3-ball there. 6-2 Shorecrest lead, 2:55 to go. Jay double team down low, goes up, draws contact, and she will head to the line.
And I love that. When you're struggling to score, right, and you have a nice inside presence there with Fatu. Get something going at the rim. See if you can't get an easy bucket or get yourself to the free throw line to see the ball go through the net here a couple times.
Dietz picking up the foul, her first team foul. Jay first shot off the rim, missing. Tell you what, watching her a lot last year as a freshman and seeing her for the first time this year just a couple of weeks ago, I'm really impressed with the inside game that she's developed this year. I feel like last year as a freshman, more or less utilizing size more than anything. It looks like she's kind of got a little more of a well-rounded game this year too.
No, I agree completely. I think her footwork has gotten so much better this year. and you know, enables her to have a couple more moves to go to. And again, I only get to watch them a couple times a year, but I've been super impressed with the improvements she's made in her game.
Hassan showing a little Magic Charlie skills there. She went to the ground, kept the dribble going. Van Ness with the long three, using the backboard, bounces off the rim. Rebound to Meadowdale. Low scoring first quarter here so far. 2:18 left in the first period.
Go with that horns action up top to try to get Lily a look from three. Shorecrest defends it well.
Swinton getting a look she wanted, just couldn't quite finish it. Shorecrest with the rebound. 3-point lead and looking to expand upon that right now. And Kesselring's going to get called for the reach-in. Foul's really not an issue at all at this point. We're 5 minutes and 59 seconds into the game, and two teams combining for only 3 fouls.
Yeah, and I don't mind that aggression there by Kesselring at all. Again, we've mentioned it, but 9 points here between the two teams, 8 minutes in. Why not get a little aggressive on defense, see if you can generate some offense in transition, maybe force a steal.
Shorecrest going with a couple of substitutions during that last dead ball. Number 13, Maura Weaver into the game now. Lee puts up a three in the corner, misses it, gets her own board, goes right back up. Just can't buy a bucket. Kiana Lino, who just checked into the game a moment ago, misses the shot, and she might even get called for the foul here on the offensive board. I believe that is going to be the case. No, they're actually going to call that on Amanda Lee, her first. And checking into the game right now for Meadowdale, number 22, Kaylee Watmore. Also checking into the game about 30 seconds prior to that, Maya Ostvold, number 12 for Meadowdale, getting her first action of the night.
That's a strength of the Lady Mavs is their depth. You know, everyone that you'd see on the roster can play.
Lily Williams got the open look. That's exactly the shot she wants, too. That's her game.
Yeah, she does not miss. If she gets that look 2 more times, she's probably going to hit both of them. When she's uncontested and in rhythm, it's automatic.
Going to get a travel called there against Weaver. And we're going to get a full timeout called here. 1:23 left in the quarter. Shorecrest 6, Meadowdale 3. You're watching STSPN.
Do you know how I've been wanting to buy this truck and I've been so busy with work that I haven't been able to make it into the dealership? Well, Rairdens of Monroe is actually bringing the vehicle to me. I gotta go. It looks like it's here right now. I'll call you back.
Too busy to schedule a test drive? Rairdens of Monroe will bring the test drive to you. It's part of our new concierge service. Personalized car shopping built for today's customer. It's another reason why Rairdens of Monroe is a customer service champion. Let us know what we can do for you.
As a leading builder of new homes and commercial properties in Western Washington, Gamut 360 Holdings has built a reputation for honest communication, exceptional customer service, and superior craftsmanship since 2003. Our 360-degree construction approach guarantees each project is designed and built with you in mind, matching first-class materials with the highest of construction standards. From the planning stages to the final walkthroughs, Gamut 360 delivers trusted, sustainable investments that exceed owner expectations and transform Northwest neighborhoods. Gamut 360. Design, create, inspire.
And welcome back to the Walt Price Student Fitness Center here on the campus of Everett Community College. 3A District 1 basketball, late first quarter. Shorecrest wearing the home white uniforms, leading Meadowdale 6-3. Amanda Lee baseline kicks it out. Layla Hosen missing the open shot. Amanda Lee doing a nice job of fighting for that rebound. Did she knock it off of a Maverick? Yes, she did. And Shorecrest will keep the basketball. And Roger, we were just talking at the break, too. High school courts versus college courts. How much difference is there, and what kind of a difference does it make in terms of how these players are having to adjust?
Yeah, the width is the same. Most high school courts are 84 feet. Every college court is 94 feet. So there is a little bit of an adjustment. I mean, it's 5 feet, obviously, on either side of half court. So there's a little bit more space. For teams that like to press, there's more holes against that because you can space it deeper. And then, obviously, you're just running 10 feet longer every time you get up and down. But there are a lot of high school courts around the area that are 94 feet. Glacier Peak, Jackson come to mind. So it's not something they've never played on before.
Well, I like the movie Hoosiers, too. The basket's still 10 feet, and it's still 15 feet from the free throw line, right?
Absolutely.
Lino, spin move, baseline, hits. Kiana Lino with her first points of the night. 8-3 Shorecrest.
Nice turnaround just over her left shoulder, goes straight up. Good touch there from just outside the paint.
Down to 27 seconds left in the quarter. Ball gets knocked into the backcourt. Little double team pressure there from Weaver and Lee. Morrison down to 12 on the shot clock. And probably not the foul that Amanda Lee wanted right there. She's going to pick up her second already.
And it is on Lee, you're right. And so 2 fouls there right before the quarter expires. You're right. That one's tough and probably frustrating both for her and for the Shorecrest coaching staff. As their leading scorer, she's going to have to go take a seat here. We'll see how long until they come back to her.
Yeah, generally, rule of thumb, do you have one on your squad? I know that third foul is usually the mark where you definitely don't play a player until the second half, correct?
Yeah, when they get two, a lot of times you'll see coaches take them out, and then you look at the flow of the game. So if I'm the Shorecrest coach, I probably don't put her back in unless Meadowdale comes back and takes the lead at some point. But you also have to be careful. If you sit someone for too long, you've basically just fouled them out yourself.
It's true.
And you want to have your best players on the floor.
3 seconds to go here in the quarter. Van Ness, floater, misses it. Rebound into the hands of Stark. And we've come to the end of the first quarter. Hard fought one at that. Shorecrest with the 8-3 lead after 1 period of play. You're watching STSPN.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200+ national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
And welcome back once again to Everett Community College District 1 loser out, winner to state regional game today. Meadowdale with only 3 points in the first quarter, looking to get something going here in the first pass. Down low in the second quarter gets away. Shorecrest with a steal. Slowing things down a bit. Meadowdale in that 2-3 zone. And Amanda Lee, who we just talked about at the end of the first quarter, picking up that second foul. The leading scorer still on the bench. Weaver with a 3. Missing that one. Rebound coming down to Kagarabi. They're going to go with a long 3 from Van Ness. Bounces way up into the air. Lino getting a hand on it. Knocks it over to Kagarabi for a second offensive board. And that's got to be frustrating if you're Meadowdale. You forcing them into bad shots and misses, and you still can't come away with the ball.
Yeah, they're playing really good defense here to force the shots they want, but I think unofficially, that's about 6 offensive rebounds on the game for Shorecrest so far, and that's really deflating for a defense.
Weaver misses another shot. Finally, no, Dietz is able to come away with it. Lily Williams says, you know what, if we can't rebound it, I'll just go ahead and grab a steal here. Morrison, open look 3. Just pushed it just a little bit right. Offensive board for Swinton, goes up, gets the basket.
That was really the first or second clean look from 3 Meadowdale's gotten all night. They need to keep creating those. Those shots are going to fall, but excellent job there on the putback by Swinton.
Dietz looking for the reverse, misses it. And yeah, this is a team, Lily Williams, 8 3-pointers in the game this year, school record, and as we've already talked about, a school with a lot of tradition, so that says something. She's looking for a 1 right now, as though she's listening on cue, drains the 3 ball. We've got a tie game.
That was beautiful inside-out basketball against the zone there. Lily gets on the wing, passes it into Fatu. The defense collapses on her, just right back out to Lily with her feet set. Inside-out 3, the best shot in basketball.
Open look, 5-0 run here for Meadowdale to start the second quarter. Tying this game up. Van Ness thinking about that NBA 3. Kicks it over to Weaver. She floats one up. Misses it. J-Tay coming away with the board, looking to push it. 2-on-2. Kicks it out. Morrison open look. Missed it almost in the exact same spot she did last time. Fatu kicks it out to her for another look. Misses again. Lino coming down with the board.
And I know everyone trusts her to make that shot. Those are 3 good looks. She needs to have the confidence to keep shooting those if she keeps getting them, because she can get hot. Those are all great shots for the Lady Mavs.
Well, and you and I were talking over the break. Meadowdale loves to shoot the 3. Unofficially, only 1 attempt in that first half. So far, at the very least, they're getting more of the Meadowdale looks, right?
Absolutely. And so, yeah, I think they're 1 of 4, or 1 of 5 on the night. But, they're going to want to shoot 15 to 20 of them. So if they keep getting those great looks, the math works out for you.
And Meadowdale checking in a player who I don't even have on my roster, to be honest with you, number 20 coming into the game right now. Try to find out who that is here in a moment. And guess who? Amanda Lee checks back in for Shorecrest, and you mentioned it already. That's a player that Carlos Humphrey probably didn't want in here right now with 2 fouls, and he in particular needs her to stop the bleeding.
Absolutely, but when she's their leading scorer, and like I said, you have to have your best players on the floor in a game like this, and so you also have to have that trust that she knows she can't pick up a silly reaching foul here or anything. If she's going to pick up a third before halftime, it better be, contesting a wide open layup or something of that nature. So it shows that he has a lot of trust in Lee to play smart here for the rest of the half.
Taylor Svensson, who had just checked in a few moments ago for Shorecrest, picking up the foul on the play as Alicia Morrison gets her first point of the night. Nice job by Soraya Swinton to find Morrison down low. A little spin move, didn't get the basket, but did draw contact. And really, I guess, and tell me if I'm wrong here, Meadowdale, a team that does like to play out on the perimeter a lot and they like to shoot, it's not as though you're going to see them attacking Amanda probably any different than they normally would, right? They're not exactly the dribble, drive, go right at her type of team anyway, are they?
Not as much. And, the 2 fouls she picked up, one was on a rebound, one was on a reaching foul about 30 feet from the hoop. So that I think also plays into Coach Humphrey's decision to put her back in here.
Just let her know as you're sending her into the game, as she's walking by you, play smart, right?
Absolutely. The 7-0 run here from the Lady Mavs to start the quarter.
First lead of the game for them as Lee gets called for the travel on the play. Swinton driving to the left, kicks it out to JT. Spin move into the lane, back out to Swinton. Across the lane, we're down to 15 on the shot clock as Soraya says, you know what? I'm going to take a moment here to set the offense back up. Right wing Morrison over to JT. A little reach in there, and I think we're going to get more than likely Van Ness called for the foul.
Really good patience and poise there by Meadowdale offensively on that possession. You called it. They had a couple attacks to the hoop. Nothing was there. A lot of times you'll see teams force something at that point, but really nice job to set it back up and enter into the high post and end up getting a foul.
This is why, as a public address announcer, I'm always told not to call the player out by the foul until I see something from the referees. I did get the wrong player. They called Dietz on the back end. Her second foul. Williams for the long 3. Hits it. Lily with 6 in the quarter.
That is pure. You have the high school line in black. You have the college line in red. And if there had been an NBA line out there, she would have been right about where that is.
Feel like you give her a 4-point play almost. Dietz trying to go up and under a Meadowdale defender, and they're going to send her to the line for 2 free throw attempts. They're going to call that on Morrison, her first. Well, and right now, as Dietz misses the first free throw, right now we've got Dietz with 2 fouls and Lee with 2 fouls, so that's going to be interesting. And do we think we know who number 20 is right now for Meadowdale?
Yeah, it's Cassidy Gamble, listed on the roster at 21.
Okay. Second shot up and in. So Gamble, the 6-foot senior player out there getting some action right now. Meadowdale on a 10-1 run at this point. Lee with a steal. Swinton goes down. Easy basket, easy layup. And Shorecrest leading scorer getting on the board for the first time tonight. And suddenly Shorecrest putting a little pressure on Meadowdale here in the backcourt.
Yeah, I like that call from Coach Humphrey to try to change up the tempo here.
JT with a nice spin move to the hoop, and that was what I was talking about a few minutes ago. That's a play I didn't see her make last year.
Yeah, that's a really nice move there to be able to get the defense to commit going to the left, spin back right, and get something at the rim.
And Svensson is going to pick up the foul. She now has 2, so Shorecrest 6 fouls for the game. And unfortunately for them, 6 fouls from 3 different players, all with 2. First free throw attempt by Gamble is missed. Second free throw in as Gamble gets on the board for the first time tonight. Starting to look across the court here as the Marysville-Gitchell boys basketball team just showed up a few minutes ago. They will be taking on the Shorecrest Scots in the game immediately following this one. So if you're a Shorecrest fan, you want to keep it right here. Another game in which one team will be heading to regionals. Losing team will have their season come to an end. Hawson, floater, right side, misses it. Rebound by Morrison. Mavericks up by 3 and looking for more. Down low, floats the pass over the top of Dietz. J-Tay up and in.
Really nice pass there by Morrison. That's a tricky pass too. She had 2 different Scots in the way there. Was able to get up and over. Nice catch and finish by Fatu.
Kind of a dangerous one. Dietz is your tallest player out there, and she was the one you had to go over the top of.
Right.
Lino getting the shot partially blocked. Nice job by Gamble. Hustling over there. She gets pushed. That's going to be the 7th foul on Shorecrest, and that's going to put Meadowdale into the bonus. Kiana Lino getting called for the foul, her first. Gamble back to the line for the second time in as many possessions. 1-and-1 coming up, misses the front end. And nice job by Morrison, takes it away from Dietz, goes for the layup, misses it. Dietz with the rebound. Shorecrest with numbers looking to push. Actually, Meadowdale doing a nice job of getting back. Van Ness with a long 3, barely catches the rim. Lino reaching down to grab the ball. J-Tay knocks it off of her leg. Nice hustle by Fatu J-Tay. Meadowdale basketball.
Yeah, ever since that possession where I think Shorecrest got 3 offensive rebounds in a row that we were talking about, Meadowdale's done a really nice job swarming to, team rebound on all the shots. That could be why Shorecrest has struggled to score the last couple minutes.
Nicely done. I'm not even sure that's who the pass was intended for. Unfortunately, Stark not able to finish it. It looked as though Fatu was trying to pass it out into the perimeter. The ball got knocked away and right into the hands of Stark. Almost had a gimme layup. I think she was so surprised that even she missed the shot. 1:47 showing left on the clock here in the first half. Amanda Lee, long 3. WNBA 3 ball right there, misses it. Lee still struggling from the outside today. Stark inside the 2-point line, 17-footer off the side iron. Out of bounds, Shorecrest basketball.
Meadows really settled in defensively here in the half court. Like to see Shorecrest, I talked about earlier how Fatu's a great rim protector there inside. I think they need to attack off the dribble here a little bit to try to force help and get some easy looks either on dump-offs or kick-out threes.
Surprised we haven't seen a timeout yet in the second quarter.
Yeah.
The way both teams are struggling offensively, really, especially Shorecrest. Van Ness with a long 3, misses it. Dietz getting in there. That's a dangerous play there. She's already got the 2 fouls.
And so, both Lee and Van Ness are really, really great shooters. And so they're getting the people they want shooting those shots to shoot them. But what you notice on these possessions is the ball's not touching the paint at all. So really it's just swinging around the perimeter. Meadowdale's not having to shift too much. And they're not as wide open shots or as easy shots as Shorecrest, would like to get.
And we're going to get an offensive foul called against Meadowdale. Stark picking up her first foul. Well, and I'm wondering if the timeouts aren't being called because of the fact that it's still such a closely contested game scoreboard-wise. Maybe is Coach Humphrey or even Coach Mahler, for that matter, saving those for the second half. It just looks to me like you think that an adjustment or at least a conversation might be had at some point here. As Lee goes into the lane, kicks it out. Van Ness back to Lee. 10 on the shot clock. Down to 5. Lee pulls up, 3 ball up, hits the front of the rim, bounces around into the hand of Hassan. New shot clock, and really they can almost take everything off here if they want. There's about a half-second differential. Doesn't matter now. Lee draining the 3.
You see a sigh of relief after that one goes down. Obviously a terrific shooter. It's had some good looks and finally gets that one to go. sometimes just seeing one go through and the floodgates can open.
Here we go, 2-on-1. Van Ness with the steal, left side. Shot might have been partially blocked, knocked right back to her. 2.1 seconds on the clock. And they're going to say that was last touched by Shorecrest. Meadowdale basketball. Morrison dribbling this one out. Throws up a long heave, not even close, but we've come to the end of the first half in a defensive matchup here so far. Both of these teams vying to get to the next level, and it looks like it's going to come right down to the final 16 minutes. Meadowdale 16, Shorecrest 14. We're going to take a break. You're watching STSPN.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Everett and Lake Stevens, we'll help you find what you're looking for and offer friendly advice too. Owners Greg and Christine are all about serving their customers and their community. They support local high school sports and many other community organizations and events. So the next time you need help with your to-do list or project around the house, bring it to Ace. They'll greet you at the door and help you find whatever you need fast. Show your support for locally owned businesses. Shop Ace Hardware just off Highway 9 in Lake Stevens and Evergreen Way in Everett. Ace is the place for the helpful hardware folks.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
As a leading builder of new homes and commercial properties in Western Washington, Gamut 360 Holdings has built a reputation for honest communication, exceptional customer service, and superior craftsmanship since 2003. Our 360-degree construction approach guarantees each project is designed and built with you in mind, matching first-class materials with the highest of construction standards. From the planning stages to the final walkthroughs, Gamut 360 delivers trusted, sustainable investments that exceed owner expectations and transform Northwest neighborhoods. Gamut 360. Design, create, inspire.
You know how I've been wanting to buy this truck and I've been so busy with work that I haven't been able to make it into the dealership? Well, Rairdens of Monroe is actually bringing the vehicle to me. I gotta go, it looks like it's here right now, I'll call you back.
Too busy to schedule a test drive? Rairdens of Monroe will bring the test drive to you. It's part of our new concierge service. Personalized car shopping built for today's customer. It's another reason why Rairdens of Monroe is a customer service champion. Let us know what we can do for you.
And welcome back once again to the Walt Price Student Fitness Center here on the campus of Everett Community College. A low-scoring affair here at halftime in a winner-to-regional loser-out game. Shorecrest trailing Meadowdale 16-14. And once again joining us, Roger O'Neill, the head boys basketball coach at Meadowdale. Roger, you are a coach, so we're going to put you in the hot seat right now. Both of these teams, maybe we'll start off with Shorecrest. If you are Coach Humphrey, what were you telling your girls at halftime?
Yeah, I think, well, for both of these teams, like you said, 16-14 right now, so you're pretty pleased with what your defensive game plans have been doing so far, right? You have to feel real confident about your ability to continue getting stops in this game. And so everything at halftime, I think, in both these locker rooms is about how do we generate more offense. So does that mean we're going to throw out whatever pressure looks defensively we have to try to get some steals and some buckets in transition? Or is there an adjustment against the zone? We're going to go to more ball screens, more attacking off the dribble, or any sort of zone specials you might have to put in. But it's all about, I think, seeing the ball go through the rim here early. And in a game like this, especially low scoring, it's really important to be the first team to come out and make a run here in the first couple minutes of the second half. You know, because a 6-point lead in a game like this feels like 10 or 12.
When you look at that scoreboard and you see how few points, they're kind of at a premium right now. Indeed. So it's 16-14 as we are just about ready to start the second half. As we look out on the floor, it appears as though both teams going back to their original starting lineups. You've got Hassan, Lee, Vanessa, Dietz, and Kagarabi back out on the floor for Shorecrest. Meadowdale with Williams, Cassidy, Swinton, Jate, and Morrison. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Shorecrest not in any hurry by any means right now, and we're going to get a travel called on Hassan. All that, and you don't even get a shot off.
Yeah, that's what's really frustrating, especially, you know, either team here. You haven't been very efficient offensively, and so those empty possessions are really frustrating when you just turn the ball over without getting a shot up. But credit to the Meadowdale defense on that one, and you know, whichever team finds their rhythm offensively first here is going to be put in a real nice position to take control of this game.
And we went almost 2 minutes at the beginning of the game before seeing our first points. Let's see if we're going to have a deja vu moment here, as we're already 47 seconds in, still looking for our first scoreboard change of the third quarter, as Meadowdale also coming up empty. Pass goes over the head of Van Ness into the hands of Morrison. And Amanda Lee, ooh, that is not how you wanted your third foul to come up.
Like we talked about, this is a veteran officiating crew, guys that have done a lot of big games. You never want to critique too much, but that's a tough one. If I'm the Shorecrest head coach, Coach Humphrey, you got to be frustrated with that call. Didn't really impact the game. You know, 50 feet from the hoop, that's a tough one for your best player to get her third foul on. Much
like her second foul as well, as Morrison misses the three ball. Fatu going up for getting the rebound. Fatu Jate kicks it out to Swinton. It's a valid point. I mean, do you swallow the whistle on that play? And at the same time, though, Amanda's got to know that my team needs me on the floor. Do I even put myself in a position to get called for that? And we're going to get our first shooting foul of the half. As a coach, knowing some of these referees like you do over time, do you start to kind of gauge which ones are going to let you play more so than others, and do you tell your team about that?
Yeah, what's tough about the district tournament, though, is a lot of times these crews, you know, watching the Stanwood-Shorewood boys game from before, you had a crew, I think, of 3 different associations. I could be wrong on that, but I know there's an official that does a lot of the Northwest Conference games, an official that I think is a Snohomish County ref, and an official that's a King County ref. So even though all 3 of them are good refs, you might have a feel for them individually. As a crew, they haven't worked together as much, so you're not really sure, you know, until the game starts how they're going to call it together.
Swinton making one of the 2 free throws, but more importantly on that play, Roger, Audrey Dietz getting called for her third foul. So we've got Lee and Dietz both 2 fouls away from fouling out of this game. 2 of their 3 leading scorers on the year. 3 ball up and count it. Layla Hosen with the bucket.
All 3 of Shorecrest's first possessions, it looks like they're really trying to make an effort to work through the high post against the zone, and that time you saw Meadowdale collapse on the high post, leaving a shooter wide open on the wing. That might be, we were talking about the chalk talk at halftime. That might have been the adjustment Coach Humphrey saw, is to try to get the team, to Meadowdale, to collapse so they can get wide open shots.
Forced pass by Cassidy, gets away. And it looks as though we're going to get not only a turnover, but a foul called on JT down low. JT only picking up her first foul of the day. 5:59 left, third quarter, 17-17. Looks more like a third quarter football score than it is a basketball game at this point, as Cassidy's going to go to the bench and Keisha Stark will check back in for the Mavs.
This isn't all that uncommon to see. This is pretty low scoring, but to see a low scoring game in a game like this with these implications. And when it's winner state, loser out, though, you just have to remember, whether it's 30-29 or it's 70 to 65 or whatever it is, you just got to, at the end of the day, find a way to get this done. It might not be pretty, but only one of them is going to be able to move on and keep playing.
And you talked earlier about one of these teams finding offensive rhythm. Maybe it's Shorecrest right now. Van Ness pops a 15-footer. First bucket for her since the first quarter. She now has 5 in the evening. 19-17 Shorecrest lead. Stark, long 3, airballs it.
And Shorecrest has been mixing up their defenses throughout the game. We're back to man-to-man right now. Meadowdale not able to puncture the arc there and get anything in the paint.
So Shorecrest with 5 points on their last 2 possessions, looking for more. Currently with a 19-17 lead. 5:06 to go in the third quarter. Meadowdale looking to get back to the regional round for the first time in 10 years. And Van Ness hitting the ground hard, and she's going to go to the line for 2.
And worth noting perhaps that it wasn't regionals 10 years ago. We had the perfect format of 16 teams at the state tournament.
Back in the day, right?
Where you got to actually play at Tacoma when you proved that you were one of the top 16 teams, but we don't need to get into that.
I think we could spend a whole game talking about that, I have a feeling, right?
Sure.
Well, and maybe I'll ask you, what are your thoughts in terms of do you like the RPI format? I mean, if we're going to go to a 16-team regional with only 12 making it to the Dome, do you like the configuration the way it is right now?
It's not bad. I'll be honest, it's better than what they had with the 8 teams going to the Dome. And the state RPI, I think it's a good way. It's not perfect, but it's a good way of making sure you don't have, 2 juggernauts at the state level ending up on the same side of the bracket and things of that nature. It gives you an okay balance across the field.
And we're going to get a timeout here as Meadowdale's decided that they need a little break. Shorecrest on a 7-0 run, and we'll take a break as well. You're watching STSPN.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
You know that test drive I've been trying to get to? You're not going to believe this, but Raritan's of Monroe just delivered it to my work. I gotta go.
Too busy to schedule a test drive? Raritan's of Monroe will bring the test drive to you. It's part of our new concierge service.
Survive till halftime.
And welcome back once again to the Walt Price Student Fitness Center. Steve Willits along with Meadowdale boys basketball coach Roger O'Neill. And Roger, we were just talking at the break here, and part of that might have leaked over into the air. Not a bad timeout to call right now after Meadowdale.
I like that timeout from Coach Mahler. Again, we talked about the team that makes the first run here in the third quarter is going to have control. Shorecrest has made a little run, and so to stop that bleeding now before it continues, getting a bucket here from Meadow would be huge. Shorecrest comes out in a 1-3-1 zone here out of the timeout.
Swinton getting double teamed there. Lee reaching in. Guess what? I'll wait until Riaz puts that hand up. He does, in fact, call Amanda Lee for her 4th foul.
That's big time. Shorecrest, it's a common tactic coaches like to use to come out in a different different defensive look out of the timeout.
Lily Williams 3, misses it.
Unfortunately on that one, Lee just got a hand check at the top of that 1-3-1 zone.
Number 21, Jordan Tukalski, getting her first action of the day, checking into the game. This is going to get interesting now. We've got over... And Carlos Humphrey decides he needs to take a quick timeout, also a full timeout. We'll take another break. This game just got a little more interesting, folks.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
And welcome back to Everett Community College. Shorecrest 21, Meadowdale 17. And Roger, we talked about it about 2 minutes ago that it was a wise timeout from Meadowdale. Surprised that Shorecrest did the same about a minute later into the action?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think this is a critical point in the game, and especially with Amanda Lee picking up her fourth. Meadowdale had adjusted into more of a pressure look there, and obviously Coach Humphrey didn't like what he saw in that possession, and so make sure he gets a good shot here and kind of settles his team down.
So Shorecrest basketball right now. Audrey Dietz, number 14, staying in the game with her 3 fouls. Lino goes up. JT getting a hand on it, knocking it out of bounds. So keep an eye under the hoop there. Lino, number 44, setting that screen for Dietz. They like to get it down low to her when they can. Tukalski over to Hawson. Back out to Van Ness. Playing a little catch along the perimeter. Now 6 seconds on the shot clock. Van Ness, NBA 3, up. Bank, count it. Don't think that's the way you drew it up, but it goes in and it counts the same. Sydney Van Ness with her second 3 of the game. She has 7 here in the quarter.
That's a big bucket there for the Scots.
Stark trying to match on the other end, misses the shot. Van Ness coming away with the board. 7-point lead, Shorecrest's largest of the night. And Dietz down low, wide open. Lily Williams trying to get back, but to no avail. Dietz with the bucket. She now has 5, and Shorecrest again expanding their largest lead.
Really important for Meadowdale to get a good look here. You know, it's unfortunate. You have a great defensive possession. Shorecrest makes a bank 3. You come down, shoot an early one, and don't get back in transition.
And they just called a foul. That's on Dietz, and I believe it is. It is. That's number 4 for her. Good news, bad news, I guess, if you're Meadowdale. You're down by 9. You just put 2 of their key players on the bench for probably at least a good 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, really important that they're able to capitalize on this, and you see a sub coming, and it is for Dietz here. 4 fouls each. Rule of thumb here, they're probably not going back in until midway through the 4th, depending on how this goes. And Meadowdale really has to whittle this lead down, rather.
Yeah, they've got the situation they want. Now they just need to take advantage of it. And that's not going to help right there.
I like this call here from Coach Mahler as well. Shorecrest has 2 of their more talented players on the bench in foul trouble, so let's pick up full court pressure here, see if we can speed them up.
JT picking up her 2nd foul a minute ago. Shorecrest with 4 team fouls in the half. Meadowdale with 3. Shorecrest breaking it. Hawson into the lane, floats one up high. Lino gets her hand on it, batted around, finally comes back into the hands of Hawson. Shortest player on the floor comes away with it. She's going to look to set the offense back up. Wise move by Shorecrest. Really, you're in no hurry at this point. And we're going to get a carry by Van Ness. Meadowdale looking for something here. 1 point in the entire quarter so far. They had a 16-14 lead at intermission. Stark kicking it way over to Williams. That's the look she wants. Ball is up. Flat off the back iron. Bounces away. Van Ness grabbing the rebound. She kicks it ahead. Bolstad on the other end. Misses the shot. Everybody on the floor. Bolstad finally able to wrestle it away. We're going to get a held ball. Possession arrow pointing towards Meadowdale.
really nice job by a couple of Meadowdale defenders there sprinting back and making sure that wasn't an uncontested layup.
And Morrison's going to take a breather right now as Adriana Valadez comes into the game. 5'8" senior. We haven't seen much action from her, and she's somebody who in her younger days, sophomore year-ish, seemed like she was getting a lot more minutes.
So we talked about the depth of this team earlier. It's a luxury to be able to have her come in off the bench. She has a lot of varsity experience over the years.
Jayte getting called for the offensive charge there as Lino planted herself. A lot of contact between the two. It's one of those I wouldn't mind seeing a replay there. That was close. Jayte kind of making a charge at the basket, unlike anything I'd seen her do all afternoon, and all of a sudden Lino steps into the lane there, and somebody needs to be called for it. They're going to say offensive. Meadowdale once again employing the press. Shorecrest able to break it. Van Ness swings it over to Tukolsky. Back to Tukolsky. 3 ball up in the air. And this time, turnabout is fair play. Lino going to get called for a foul as she goes over the top of Jayte.
Yeah, Meadowdale got away with one there. You know, that's that period after someone breaks your press and you have to set back and whatever your, defense you're going into in the half court, and they left a shooter wide open. Really fortunate, not only for them to miss, but then to get the foul on the rebound.
And as you might have been able to see up on the screen there, as soon as that ball left Tukolsky's hands, the entire bench stood up for Shorecrest. There we go. Keisha Stark getting her first points of the night. She's been known to have hot hands from time to time, puts them within 6, keeping that press on right now. Van Ness dribbling across the line. And suddenly, if Meadowdale can get another stop here with those 2 players still on the bench, you might be right back in business. 12 to go on the shot clock. Shorecrest certainly in no rush. They've got the lead. They want as much of that clock gone as possible right now. Down to 3 on the shot clock. Van Ness kicks it back out. Tukolsky doesn't get the shot off. Shot clock violation, and that's a good thing because if it had been 1 more second, she just banked a 3.
Basketball is such a beautiful and funny game. Shorecrest up 9. They had a good look from 3 2 possessions ago. That would have put them up 12. And in a game like this, that feels like a lot to come back from. Instead, Meadowdale comes down after the Shorecrest miss, hits a 3 6-point game, and now there's life.
Taylor Kesselring checks back into the game for Meadowdale. There's another 3 ball. Shot is missed. That was Williams with the attempt. Jayte coming away with it. Valadez with the ball. Stark was calling for it up on top. Valadez loses it. Van Ness comes away with it. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. 26-20 is our score. A game of swings here. Shorecrest winning the first quarter 8-3. Meadowdale with a 13-6 advantage in the second. Meadowdale with a 2-point lead at the break, and so far Shorecrest outscoring Meadowdale here in this quarter 12-4. Austin drives into the lane, floater, misses it. Tukolsky comes away with the rebound. Looks like we've got about a 1-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, and perhaps Shorecrest looking to be content with putting up the final shot here of the quarter. Austin left wing. Over to the right side. Tukolsky, we're down to 7 to go. Almost stolen. Kesselring had a nice look there for a moment. Hassan puts up a shot, misses it. Jayte comes away with a rebound. And that will end the quarter. We've got 8 minutes to go. 8 minutes to potentially decide which of these teams is moving on to the regionals. Shorecrest right now with a 6-point lead. You're watching STSPN.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Everett and Lake Stevens, we'll help you find what you're looking for and offer friendly advice too. Owners Greg and Christine are all about serving their customers and their community. They support local high school sports and many other community organizations and events. So the next time you need help with your to-do list or project around the house, bring it to Ace. They'll greet you at the door and help you find whatever you need fast. Show your support for locally owned businesses. Shop Ace Hardware just off Highway 9 in Lake Stevens and Everett Greenway in Everett. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks. As a leading builder of new homes and commercial properties in Western Washington, Gamut 360 Holdings has built a reputation for honest communication, exceptional customer service, and superior craftsmanship since 2003. Our 360-degree construction approach guarantees each project is designed and built with you in mind, matching first-class materials with the highest of construction standards. From the planning stages to the final walkthroughs, Gamut 360 delivers trusted, sustainable investments that exceed owner expectations and transform.
And welcome back to the Walt Price Sports and Fitness Center here. That is Eddie George, the head basketball coach for the Shorecrest boys basketball team. He will be trying to get his Scots into the regional round coming up after this game, as they will be taking on the Marysville-Getchell Chargers. But first, we got 8 more minutes of basketball action here. Shorecrest 26, Meadowdale 20. And maybe the biggest news of the break there, Roger, as Keisha Stark drives the lane and gets it to fall. She now has 5 on the night. Biggest news of the break, Audrey Dietz and Amanda Lee, both of Shorecrest, both with 4 fouls, checking back in.
Yeah, 2 different ways you can play that. You can wait, until about the 4 or 5 minute mark to put your girls back in who are in foul trouble, or as Coach Humphreys is electing to do here, try to put this game away now. As he sees Meadowdale had a little life breathe into them at the end of the quarter.
And we're going to get a travel called on Dietz. Turnover. And you kind of mentioned it, I think, during the first half. You said sometimes if you start benching these players too early, you almost foul them out yourself, right, by taking them out of the equation.
Right, and that's certainly a defensible decision by Coach Humphrey here to put them back in. Because you're right, if you hold them out until the 4-minute mark and now Meadowdale makes a run with them on the bench, you're going to be kicking yourself. So again, you have the trust in them to go out there and play and win this game without picking up their 5th fouls.
Taylor Kesselring getting called for the travel, so back-to-back travels, 1 on each team there on those possessions. 26-22. One of these teams will advance and be playing next week in the regionals. One of these teams will not. Ooh, ball goes right through Williams' hands. Van Ness still comes away with it.
And then Shorecrest getting really good side-to-side ball movement here where the ball hasn't touched the paint all possession.
Amanda Lee off the back iron, misses it. Williams grabs the ball. Kicks it ahead to Kesselring. 6:44 to go here in the 4th quarter. Stark with the ball up on top. Plays a little catch with Williams for a moment. Being guarded by Kagarabi. Into the lane. J-Tay kicks it out. Valdez open look. In and out. Bounces out finally. Coming away with it. Kesselring, and she's going to draw contact. Thing we haven't even pointed out yet, too, Shorecrest is the number 9 seeded team in the RPI right now. Depending on how things play out above them, Shorecrest, if one of those 8 teams ahead of them doesn't qualify for regionals, or if they're leapfrog one based on what happens, they could almost essentially qualify for the Tacoma Dome today.
Right.
And that, again, we won't know until later on down the road. So this is a huge moment for them. Valdez open look. Missed almost everything there. Caught the bottom part of the backboard. Kagarabi back out to Lee. Trying to get it down to Lino. Finally sees Van Ness cutting through the lane. 13-footer, misses it. Lino coming away with it. Nice job by Lily Williams. Blocks her from behind. Soraya Swinton with the ball into the key. J-Tay, Van Ness going to get called for the reach-in. Not only that, I believe that's going to be foul number 7 on Shorecrest. Unless the scoreboard operator is quicker than I am. Yes, that is number 7. That should put them at the line for 1-1. Or do we call that player control?
No, the scores table's got it now. It's 1-1. It seems like to come out here in the 4th quarter, Meadows made a concerted effort to play through Fatu inside. You saw the possession before. She's able to attack the paint. So much attention is drawn to her when she has the ball inside. It opens up everything else.
Missing the front end of the 1-1. That's the 2nd time we've seen Meadowdale do that tonight. Essentially making that an 0 for 4 when you get into a situation like that, and that's what they trail by right now. 5:45 left in the 4th quarter. A couple more substitutions, one for each team waiting at the scores table. Van Ness, fans wanted to travel there. Didn't get it. Amanda Lee steps into a three, misses that one. Rebound for Swinton. Meadowdale looking to make this a one-possession game if they can score here. Morrison, open look three, aired it. Kesselring doing her best to save the ball. They're going to say it bounced out of bounds first. And Morrison just looks like she's lost a little confidence at this point.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it earlier. She had those good looks and they didn't fall. But again, I think if I'm Coach Mahler or any one of her teammates, I'm clapping it up as she shoots that shot because we've seen her make it throughout the season. Not many better shots in basketball than an open three from someone you trust to make it. So, unfortunate results, but I like the process of how they're going about their offense right now.
Definitely got the look they wanted here as it looks as though Stark checked back into the game. Kesselring going to take a break for the time being. We've got a shot. Okay, the shot clock is out on the. Why bother using tools when you can use a basketball, huh? No, I think that's funny. They're Swinton now telling JT, throw the ball and hit the shot clock, not the. There we go. Third time's a charm right there. So Todd Elvick, who was on with us a moment ago, and we've been broadcasting NWAC games here for the last couple of years. This is nothing new then. Okay, very interesting.
It's new for me. I've never seen anything like that.
I haven't either. And generally speaking, you think you might want to fix that over time, but Van Ness throws up a three ball and misses it. As somebody who is mechanically challenged myself, I wish everything was that easy. Just throw a basketball at it, let it shake a little bit, and fix it right up. Meadowdale back on the other end. Lily Williams open look three! Off the back iron. I'm sure there's a few of those she'd like to have over again. Morrison now hitting the ground along with, I believe it's Kagarabi. And they're going to say Kagarabi last touched at Meadowdale basketball. Roger, again, you got the look you wanted. You just didn't quite get it to fall through.
Great penetrating pitch there by the Lady Mavs, and one of the best shooters in Wesco open in the corner. You feel good about that possession.
20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Swinton dribbling baseline, kicks it out to Stark, swings it over to Morrison. She goes right side into the lane. 3 players on her, gets it to go, and that's what it means right there when you have a player with 4 fouls. Audrey Dietz, no doubt thinking about that in her mind as she was trying to guard Morrison.
Love the attack there. Again, she's struggled shooting from 3 here this evening, so why not take it to the hole and get something, a higher percentage look. That's exactly what she does.
Great point, and we're going to get a held ball here as Kagarabi losing the ball momentarily. Stark ties her up, and in the process gets flung to the ground like a rag doll. Fortunately, she's okay, and Amanda Lee and her 4 fouls coming back in as Lino's going to take a seat on the bench. A kind of little cat and mouse for Carlos Humphrey right now. If he's got a big lead, he pulls Lee out. When the lead starts to dwindle, she seems to go right back in for that little extra firepower. And we're going to get a 30-second timeout. We're going to go ahead and keep it right here.
Yeah, and I think another thing you might see as the game keeps going, I think he might have just started doing this a little bit, is you can do offense, defense when you have a player with 4 fouls. So he checks her into the game here as they have an offensive possession on an inbounds under. And maybe if there's a chance here shortly with a dead ball with Meadowdale possession, he'll pull her out to save the chance of that 5th foul on defense.
Why do we not see that more often?
Well, it's hard to do. Basketball is a game in flow, and it's not like football where you can have a play and then a sub, and then a play and a sub, and so it's hard to do because there's not dead balls, happening throughout the whole game. But I think, again, this stage of the game, 4 minutes left. Each dead ball, that should be something that they're looking to do, whether they're on offense or defense, to be able to get the most out of her with her 4 fouls.
So we'll see how often they continue to employ that strategy as long as she's still in the game. Dietz with the basketball. Nice job by Morrison putting a little pressure on here. Hawson, 8 to go on the shot clock. Floater from 14 out, gets the backboard to assist on that one, drops it in there. 4-point lead for Shorecrest.
Good attack to the paint there, and we've seen 5 points of Shorecrest in the second half here that have been off the glass unintentionally. That's a tough one for Meadowdale. But credit to Shorecrest for putting the ball in the hole.
Stark missing a left-handed layup there. A little bit of pressure from Dietz. Van Ness on the other end, floater along the baseline, misses it. JT coming down with the board. Picks up her dribble. Immediately Swinton comes over to help her out. 3:25 to go on the clock. Meadowdale content setting the half-court offense right now.
Shorecrest back to man-to-man.
Dietz with the 4 fouls on JT, kicks it back out. Stark thought about a 3, drives the lane, kicks it out to Morrison. Corner 3 ball up, bounces around and off into the hands of Dietz. Got the look, and actually not a bad-looking shot either. The last one she'd put up was an air ball. This one was on the mark. It just didn't quite go exactly where she wanted it to. And Van Ness travels. She's complaining. She thought there was a reach in there. The referee saw it differently. Meadowdale basketball.
Remember we talked about before the game. Doesn't get any better than this. You have a berth to state on the line. Loser goes home. 2:48 to go. 4-point game. This is what makes high school sports fun.
And a lazy pass there. Van Ness very wisely watching for the floater, and then they get a travel called against them. Both teams blowing an opportunity there. And Mahler wants to take a timeout. We're going to keep it right here again since it's a 30. Here, Coach Mahler, what are you telling the ladies right now?
Well, so many turnovers here by both teams here in the last couple of possessions. You can see Coach Humphrey putting his case on that last travel right now. The formula to win close basketball games, especially at playoff time, is pretty simple. If you can take early, they got 2 different attacks into the paint, end up getting fouled. Need to capitalize on these free throws here.
Meadowdale 1 for 3 at the line in the second half, including a missed front end of a 1-and-1. This time Swinton gets it to fall. She's now 2 for 3 for the game, 4 points on the evening for her. Looking to cut that deficit down to 2 on this free throw attempt and gets it to go. We've got a 1-possession game, 2:30 remaining. Regional berth on the line. Here we go, folks. A little pressure from Meadowdale. Hosen with the open look 3, airballs it. Meadowdale with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Both teams putting a lot of pressure on the basketball right now. Shorecrest has to be careful up too. You don't get a silly hand check foul, sending Meadowdale to the line again.
Yeah, 8 fouls for them in the half. Morrison kicking it out. JT thought about the 3, wants it for the lead, banks it in! Fatu JT, first tray of the night. The Mavs lead with under 2 to go.
Shorecrest had the bank shot in the third. Meadowdale comes back with their own here. It evens out over time.
Van Ness for the lead on the other end. She misses JT with the board. They almost dared Fatu to shoot that too.
And she thought about it twice. Obviously, her teammates and coaches have confidence in her to shoot it, and it paid off there.
Ari Marr wants a timeout. I'm going to look at Todd Elvick. Do we want to stay here? Let's go ahead and keep it right here. My goodness, what? Not exactly the play that you would have scripted, right? Having your 6-foot post step out and take the 3, but hey, when they're almost baiting you, hey, you want it? I'll let you have it. Go ahead, shoot it.
Absolutely, and they had some decent ball movement on that play. She stepped out on the perimeter, and we've seen her more on the perimeter this year, and she's able to attack off that. But you could definitely tell Shorecrest's game plan is to sag off, and they said I double dogged area, and she said, all right then, I'll use the glass here to take the first lead Meadowdale's had in a long time.
Lily Williams holds the school record with 8 3-pointers in the game. That was earlier this season. I was at a game recently where Alicia Morrison threatened it. She had 5 in the first half against Linwood about 2 weeks ago. We know they've got some shooters. Number 45, not usually the one I expect to put them into the lead with under 2 to go. So this is exciting. And you mentioned it earlier. This is exactly what you play for, right?
That's right. And, it doesn't matter who's shooting it. Again, 2 minutes to go. Let it fly and go make a play.
Here we go. And in case you didn't see the end of the last game, which we were broadcasting without sound, Stanwood beating Shorewood by 1 point with a missed shot at the buzzer. And we might have another one of those coming up. Morrison into the lane, gets the shot blocked. Dietz getting a hand on it. Shorecrest now with a chance to take the lead.
It's a good aggressive play by Dietz, and we talked about them playing with 4 fouls. At this stage in the game, you just got to go play.
Amanda Lee, right side, looking for Van Ness, double teamed right away. Williams and JT, then Stark coming over to help out. That's going to leave Hassan open. Chino has the ball, 6 to go on the shot clock, swings it to Lee. Lee knows the shot clock's trickling down, puts up a shot, runner misses it. Morrison comes away with it, and I think we might get a foul on Van Ness, and if we do, that will be number 9 on Shorecrest, and Morrison will shoot 1-1 with under a minute left in the fourth quarter. Sydney Van Ness, second personal foul. Alicia Morrison, 2 for 2 at the line today so far. Been kind of quiet offensively, only 4 points, but she could certainly put her stamp on this game with these 2 free throws right here.
Yes, you can, and we talked about it the last time out. To win close games, you rebound, you take care of the ball, and you make free throws. Meadowdale has been taking care of the ball the last couple of sessions. They've been forcing Shorecrest to one and done on the offensive end, and now they get a chance to hit some free throws.
And another hard-fought, scrappy fourth quarter, another quarter in which we're not seeing a lot of scoring. Meadowdale with the 9-2 advantage through the first 7 minutes and 5 seconds of this period.
Looks like the shot clock above the hoop there is malfunctioning again, so Shorecrest gets to ice Meadowdale at the line here without having to burn a timeout.
It's a good way to look at it. Yeah, I think you're right. They're going to – here we go. Let's see if we can get this done on one shot this time. It took about 3 or 4 last time. One of the staff members here at the gym probably knows this situation as well as anybody. It almost looks like he's trying to aim for a particular part on the board, like maybe there's one section that works better than others.
I couldn't even begin to speculate here, Steve.
He's hitting below the rim. He's hitting lower backboard. He's hitting up high. Now he's going to go behind it even. Well, fortunately, we only have 3 more games to go today, right? It's not as though we're getting ready to get this one over with in 55 seconds and we got a whole night or a whole week to not worry about it. Either that or he's just a really bad shot. He's about 0 for 12 at this point.
You'd think there could be a ladder nearby that might be more efficient.
Well, we know there's a ladder nearby because 2 teams are cutting down nets tonight, and we did see the ladder go by along the baseline about an hour ago. So as much as any gym in the area right now, we know there's a ladder in the building. Now I think he's going directly at the shot clock.
I think we need to see more velocity on these throws.
At least, hey, let's point out one thing here. Shorecrest is the one heading that way. They're the one trailing right now, right? I doubt they're looking to eat up a lot of shot clock anyway, although they have off and on here throughout the night. But
I agree with the coach. I think he's got to put a little bit more mustard on that ball.
There we go. There's more mustard, but we caught it right underneath the Pink Panther music, by the way. Nice selection there.
That is great.
I like how he swings back around to look at the scoreboard as though, okay, did I fix it yet?
I think he'll hear an audible applause from the crowd when this comes back on.
Well, here's a thought. Why don't we get a few more basketballs out there and start working on this together?
Yeah, I like that.
I'm looking at players across the way here from Getchell that might want to come out there. And
it's the vibration from the backboard that shuts it off. So that's why he's got to nail that backboard really hard.
Just get Malachi Knight, get him out of the locker room, have him go down there, grab the rim with some authority. Seen him dunk a few times this year. Meadowdale.
That's what I'm worried about for the next game. There probably will be some dunks between Shorecrest and Getchell.
But realistically, are Shorecrest and Getchell going to use a 35-second clock? You've coached against both this year.
Yeah, I mean, in a district playoff game, you're always going to be aware of time and score, especially in the second half. So, I mean, you saw some of the scores on the boys' side. Edmonds Woodway scoring in the 40s You know, and that's something that almost never happens. So again, it's not uncommon to see games be a little bit more low scoring in playoff time. Teams are a little bit better scouted and all that stuff. Looks like we're going to go ahead and play without that shot clock on.
Yeah, public address announcer Frank Foster just announced that what they're going to do is when they get within 10 seconds, he's going to announce 10 seconds remaining. And I don't know if we would get a countdown from him, but at the very least, he will announce when there's 10 seconds left. Front end of the 1-and-1. Morrison misses it. This game just got a lot more interesting.
This is a feasible solution, what they're doing with the shot clock here with 53 seconds left in this game. That's not something I think they're going to be able to get away with for the entire Getchell Shorecrest game.
We will see. Hey, we've got a full timeout, so we're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We've got a 1-point game with under a minute to go in a winner-to-regional game. You're watching STSPN.
As records tumbled and enemies cried, came the birth of a legend. But we did not sleep. We did not rest. With knowledge gained and lessons learned, a legend was born to search and destroy. Respect the beast, but don't wake the monster.
All right, here we go. 53 seconds left in the game. Shorecrest trailing Meadowdale by 1. They have the ball. Roger O'Neill, head coach for Meadowdale boys. What are we expecting?
Well, you want to make sure you can get a good look here. You're not as conscious of the time quite yet. You want to make sure you get a great possession.
And that's not what you had in mind, is it? Right there as Hassan seen Amanda Lee in the corner, spotting up. Had the right idea, just the pass goes a little bit high over her hands. You do have an 11-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. And oh, by the way, during the commercial break, the shot clock started working again, so we'll continue to watch that. But Shorecrest certainly not in need of fouling here right now. Meadowdale could almost clinch this game with a 3-ball, though, if they wanted to. J-Tay spin moves underneath, misses the shot. Late whistle. Who is it on?
I think they had a player coming in to help from the wing. Had some contact.
Lino and Dietz both in the area. Lino drawing the foul. That had been on Dietz, she would have been out.
I love that possession from Meadowdale there. They worked some clock. They got it to Fatu inside.
Fatu with 2 free throw attempts coming up. By the way, Shorecrest now with 10 fouls in the half, which means Meadowdale will be shooting in the double bonus from here on out.
2 timeouts left here for the Scots.
Misses the shot. We've got a 2-point game. 21 seconds left. Does Shorecrest try to tie the game? Do they go for the lead? Let's find out. Lee to Van Ness, back to Lee, both outside on the perimeter. Lee drives, floats one up along the baseline, misses it. J-Tay goes to the ground. Swinton coming up with the basketball, and with 7 seconds remaining, Soraya Swinton has a chance to be a hero here. No pressure, right? Hit these 2 free throws, and we've got a 2-possession game, and you're probably going to regionals.
Absolutely. This is big free throws here. I like the shot Shorecrest got on that last possession. It just didn't fall. And you're right, 7 seconds away from Meadowdale going to state for the first time in 10 years. These are huge free throws coming up for the Lady Mavs.
2009 as Dietz is going to take a seat, no doubt to perhaps come back in here once they get on the offensive side of things. 2-point lead, Soraya Swinton. First free throw up and misses it. Best case scenario for Meadowdale now, a 3-point lead. Best case of scenario for Shorecrest, she misses this free throw and they can still win it in regulation. Shorecrest looking to ice her a little bit here. Let's go ahead and keep it right here. Full timeout.
So Shorecrest still has 1 timeout left. So I'm Coach Humphreys here. I'm explaining the situation. You're right. You're down 2. I'm assuming he's drawing up a look here. whatever play they have in their playbook that has different options, but you definitely want to have the 3-point play in right now, because I think if Meadowdale were to miss this shot, my personal philosophy, I don't want to call a timeout on the rebound if you have any sort of momentum going the full court. 7 seconds isn't a whole lot, though, so if you get the rebound off this free throw and you're still facing the opposite direction, I think you want to burn a timeout immediately on the catch so that you could set up a play from there. A bunch of different scenarios to go through here if you're Coach Humphreys, but luckily he does have another timeout in his pocket if he needs it.
Meadowdale with only 4 team fouls, which means they have fouls to give. If you're Coach Maurer, are you talking about that a little bit? Or are
that's
you
a
saying
great point, Steve. So that's the danger of using another timeout if you're Shorecrest. If Meadowdale hasn't talked about that already, I'm sure they would. Absolutely, if you can foul a dribbler, make sure they're not gathering for a shot yet. But if you can foul a dribbler, you can burn a whole bunch of time off with 3 fouls to give.
Swinton with her final free throw attempt coming up. Misses it. Here we go. No timeout being called. 5 seconds left. 3-pointer wins it. Ball being knocked away. A foul. That's exactly what they did. She was not in the act of shooting, and there's 2 seconds left.
Perfect execution by Meadowdale defensively to go foul her. So they just wasted 5 seconds. And now Shorecrest gets to use the last timeout. I like the call, no timeout. Again, that's what I was talking about. Off the rebound, Shorecrest was able to get some momentum. The rebound almost served as an outlet pass. And so if she was able to split the defenders there, you're going to get a pretty open look. And I think sometimes coaches call timeouts too often in that situation. So I really like the no timeout call by Coach Humphrey there. But now you have to. 2 seconds, sideline out of bounds. This is a classic NBA situation where they get to advance the ball off the timeout. A lot of good sideline out of bounds plays here where you could get shooter coming corner, someone sealing on the block, a bunch of different looks. We'll see what he has dialed up.
We've seen Van Ness not be afraid to shoot from way outside the 3-point line in that 22, 23-foot range. If you're Meadowdale, are you conscious of that? Are you letting her have that?
Oh, you don't let anyone have anything at this point. I think a lot of coaches like to switch everything in this situation because there's not enough time to expose a mismatch.
Here we go. Van Ness popping out into the corner. Very nicely done. Jay-Tay sticks her hand in there, and 0.8 seconds comes off. More importantly, we're now down to 1.2.
That was excellent. As you saw, they set that in screen. Fatu switches out, uses her length to deflect that. I think I'm with Coach Humphrey. That's a lot of time to run off.
I kind of thought that too. I mean, the ball was knocked out of bounds fairly quickly. I'm not sure that 1.2 is much different than, say, 1.5 or 1.6. But, hey, if I'm coach, I want every one of those ticks right now, right?
That's absolutely right. And I think with 2 seconds left, one thing I was going to say is as Meadowdale, you have to make sure you still block out and get that rebound because 2 seconds is longer than you think. A missed shot right off the first pass, a putback could send this to overtime. 1.5 could be hard now.
And the last thing you want to do if you're Meadowdale is foul. Here comes the inbound. They're looking for Lino. Get it to her. Kicks it back to Lee. Ball is up. Does it count? Doesn't matter. She misses the shot. And for the first time since 2009, the Meadowdale Mavericks girls basketball team has advanced to the state regionals. Final score, Mavericks 30, Shorecrest 28.
My goodness, what a great game. Credit to the Lady Mavs, credit to Coach Mahler in his first year, breaking a 10-year streak, getting the Lady Mavs back where they belong, where they were 14 years in a row coming up to 2009. It's going to be great to see them back in the field of 16.
And this is definitely one of those games, and I hate to see it for Shorecrest. 18-4 on the season. Coach Humphrey, anybody who's met him, a class act, runs a great program, very talented group of young ladies. Some of these players have been on this squad for 4 years now, and to see somebody like Audrey Dietz after the season they've had, have her a year come to an end without getting to regionals even. But you know what? When we get to this round, somebody's got to lose, right?
Yeah, and we talked about it at length at the start of the game. Sometimes, the score might not be that pretty. Sometimes, but this is where weird stuff happens in winner to state loser out games, and it's about just grinding it out at the end. And you're absolutely right. I think Shorecrest with the season they've had, maybe deserving of a spot in that 16, but it comes down to a game like this, and Meadowdale was able to score enough points, which tonight wasn't very many,
no.
but they got it done.
And the thing you have to kind of keep in the back of your mind now too, Meadowdale holding Shorecrest, or if you want to look at it that way, or you can say Shorecrest failing to score more than 2 points in the fourth quarter. If Shorecrest, knowing what we know now, scores 5 points in that quarter, which isn't a lot to ask for, they're walking out of here with a victory. It was either a lack of offense or a little bit of solid defense, or maybe a combination of both.
Both teams struggled to put the ball in the hole tonight. But again, I think that's a testament to at this stage in the season, you've seen these teams a time or two. You're going to put even a lot more extra time and preparation, even though they didn't have a practice to get ready for this. The game plans are usually better in the district tournament. And so I think it's a credit to both teams defensively to make the flow of the offense just never get there on either side. So really nice job by Meadowdale defensively, and Shorecrest switching between a 2-3 zone, a 1-3-1 zone, man-to-man. We saw all that throughout the game, and I thought Coach Humphrey called a great game when he switched those up. You got to feel good about holding Meadowdale to 30 points total that you're going to win this game. And it is unfortunate for it to end like that for the Scots.
We should point out a pretty solid day all around for the Edmonds School District girls basketball teams. Edmonds Woodway, who came into this tournament as a number 5 seed, punching their ticket earlier today with a 58-47 victory over Ferndale. And now you've got Meadowdale, who had to win a play-in game the other day, coming in, I guess it was, at the number 8 spot, correct? Mm-hmm. And here they are going into the regionals too. So a nice job all around for not only Coach Rasmussen earlier today, but for Coach Maurer on his, like you mentioned, first year. I'm keeping it here for just a moment because we did request that if from both of the coaches that if they did in fact win, if they could send a player up to do a player of the game interview. Now, admittedly, we're high up here in the rafters, and I've got to think that in the moment, and you know this because you're a coach, I'm guessing it's not the first thing on his mind to, hey, send a girl upstairs. I think they're probably celebrating.
Yeah, you want to be able to celebrate with your team, and I know I've done that before where I totally forget someone has asked, or I know a lot of times at our home games, Scott Williams might be there doing a story, or David Pan, or you, and I'm in there taking my sweet time with the coaches and the team, and I come walking out 30 minutes after the game's over, and they're still waiting. So. You always want to celebrate with the team first, but hopefully we get the chance to hear from one of the Lady Mavs.
Well, we'll keep it here for about 90 more seconds. If we don't see movement over by the stairs, we'll know that that's probably not happening, as now we got the clock showing 12 minutes remaining before the next game, and Shorecrest as a school still with a chance to get a team on to the next round as their boys start to warm up here and get ready to play Getchell. Again, looking at some of the final numbers for the night, we're kind of doing this on the fly. And first, I want to commend Shorecrest again on a great season. 18 wins, nothing to be ashamed of at all. And you look at a player like Sydney Van Ness, who tonight, again, doing this, adding that up quickly, 10 of their 28 points. Great game for her. She certainly did what she needed to do. Fortunately, they didn't get a lot of the numbers around her. Amanda Lee, a little bit of a rough night, but she's been a solid player all year. Audrey Dietz, 5 points. Can't say enough about the season Shorecrest had.
Yeah, and this is my first chance to watch them tonight, but really impressed with just the grit and energy and focus they played with, and like we've talked about, it was a struggle for both teams to score tonight, but they're certainly a team deserving to have gone as far as they did and maybe further. But we talked about at the start of the broadcast that they're a young team. They're going to be back next year, and you got to think very hungry after seeing their season end the way it did just now.
And now we've talked about it briefly throughout the broadcast, and we'll mention it one more time here. Your sisters, obviously, 2 of the better female basketball players to ever come out of Snohomish County. Certainly some of their teammates also having phenomenal careers. You've been there up close and personal for Meadowdale State Championships for girls basketball. You've seen the teams not only in your time as a player there, but also as a young kid with your older sisters. What does it mean for you, knowing that you coach the boys team and that you still work at the school, knowing that you're a vital part of the Meadowdale community, seeing this team advance into the regionals for the first time in a decade? Yeah,
I'm trying my best to be neutral here as a color commentator on this broadcast, but I can't hide that fact that I'm a Meadowdale guy, and again, being so close to the girls program really my whole life. I was 5 years old, and my older sister was a freshman in high school, and so seeing all that history and tradition, that was really cool to see them pull this off tonight, and special for the girls in that locker room. But as a program, as a community, I know just in my lifetime, there's a lot of pride about Meadowdale basketball on both the boys and girls side, and it's really good to see the girls punch their way back into the round of 16, and hopefully the boys can get that done next year. and for years to come after that.
Definitely a cool experience. Yeah, it gives you guys a little something to shoot for now, right? Put a little pressure on your players. And
Well, and you talked about they were the 8th seed. They had to win the play-in game. We were in that same position that same night, and unfortunately we didn't win the play-in game. We know that's that belief part is that once you get into that play-in game, you can get yourself into the tournament. You're good to go.
I see Miss Fatu JT coming on over here. We're going to get a quick interview before the next game. Indeed. This should be fun.
Here's number 3 right here.
Okay, we've got our headset here. Fatu, always a fun interview. We've gotten to talk to her over time here. We're going to get you all lined up for the camera here in just a moment as we swing it around here. Get ourselves a shirt here as well.
Shush.
We'll go ahead and we'll have you scoot over there just a little bit there, Fatu, and as I'll have Todd Elvick point out which shirt we want to give him here.
Is that a V-neck?
Let's see here. It is indeed. Yeah. There we go.
Thank you.
You're a player of the game. How do you like that?
Good. I feel good.
You should
We're
feel
going
good.
To state.
You're going to state.
I know.
And talk about this. We've been talking about it with Coach O'Neill here, who's grown up around the program. You as well. This is a team that a lot of people weren't picking to do a lot this year, and now here we are, and we're talking about you guys playing next week.
It's crazy that we're the 8th seed, and everybody else is going to state as like top 5, and we just came out of nowhere surprising everybody.
You kind of like playing that underdog role throughout the year?
Yeah. It's fun seeing the other team's face when, yeah.
Well, talk about this game tonight. You were down 8-3 after the first quarter, and we couldn't tell, sluggish, or if maybe everybody was a little nervous. I know a lot of time off with the snowstorms and whatnot. What did all of you do to get back on track to make sure that you were able to compete and get this victory?
I think it was the nerves at first, but then we started settling in. We started communicating better on defense. I think our defense was what won this game. So we started doing better on defense, moving our feet, hands straight up, just not letting their shooters shoot.
Coach, I'm going to let you take the next question. I know you're pretty proud of this young lady and her teammates.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations. First state appearance since 2009 for the Lady Mavs, and what a cool moment for you guys. I think you hit it. It was your defense tonight. All 32 minutes, that zone just really stifled them, and then even when you guys extended pressure. Talk about just what it was like to stay in that game, even though you're down 8 at one point in a low-scoring game that has to feel like 15 or 20, and you guys just stayed the course.
Yeah. Everybody just kept playing hard. Everybody brought it, and we came out with the W.
Awesome.
Well, we've been asked to keep it a little short because we do have another game coming up here in a few minutes. But again, wanted to get you up here, and I just think this is such a cool moment for you. What was the celebration like in the locker room just a few minutes ago?
Oh, my God. It was mostly screaming. You should have seen our coach. He went off. Everybody was going off. It was crazy.
This is an active bunch. I've been around you all a little bit. It's a lively bunch, too.
It is.
So, singing, dancing, what are we doing in there right now?
All of the above.
All of the above?
Singing, dancing, jumping around on and off the chairs.
You ready to play regionals next week?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Hey.
Thank you.
Great job tonight, Fatu.
Congratulations.
Fatu JT, we'll have you hold up that shirt one more time. We'll get a picture here for you as well as Todd Elvick looking over at you. And you can proudly keep that one for many, many years to come. And who knows, maybe we'll do something like this all over again next week. Fatu JT again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Great game tonight.
All right.
And best of luck next week.
Thank you.
And on that note, Roger, we're going to sign off only for about 2 minutes here as we're going to come back with the boys' game. Again, a fantastic game, and we'll see if we can duplicate that here in a few minutes. Shorecrest and Marysville Getchell coming up next. You're watching STSPN.